Uh, Hello. Whoever watching this video, who's ever had a wanted to have a rabbit or also rabbit right at this point. If you want to learn rabbit, today I'll be discussing the basics for taking care of rabbit, your housing, the health, and keep them happy. So today I was talking about the housing. Housing can be done in two ways. It can be done inside the house and outside the house, inside outdoors. And when you have a bunny, I have a bunny by experience, and I have to keep him indoors. It provides protection from the weather, predators, and/or it allows the rabbit to have a connection with family, make a pet with family. When you have money in stores, you should have a confined space that where it can live, where that has enough space for them to have their bedding, food, and you should have a place where has no hazards, where you can move around to their leisure for them to be curious animals. Many people that don't really like having animals outside or moving around are those because sometimes these rabbits can be very mischievous animals. And they like to bite a lot of things, such as the carpet or furniture. So they resort to different techniques, such as cages. Cages are another option that you can use for rabbits inside the house. However, they are the least advised because they provide the least amount of space, such as condos. Condos are a bit bigger than cages. However, they're still cages and they provide the biggest space. Now, another option for house rabbits is in the outdoors, and one of those is rabbit hutches. Rabbit hutches is pretty much the same thing as cages and condos, however, they're much bigger and they provide a perfect like a connection between the inside and the outside of their patio or backyard. These rabbit hutches are pretty good because they provide the same thing: pressure from weather, predators, and etc. Now, with summer approaching, it's very difficult. According to mybunny.org, as temperatures rise, the chances for heat strokes also rise. Heat strokes can be very dangerous, especially if you're a rabbit that's outside, and the temperatures rise from 80 degrees to 95 degrees Fahrenheit. The rabbit's normal temperature is from 50 degrees to 70 degrees. So this can be very hazardous for a rabbit, even as death sentence. To reduce these chances, you should always keep your rabbit inside with a cool area. Always clean their water and keep it cool for them to change it at least 3 or 4 times a day, and have fans that will cool your rabbit. I'm not going to talk to you about the house of rabbit now. Talking about the overall health. So for health for rabbit, a diet is very important. A rabbit's diet usually contains of pellets and hay. This is usually done because grass is a natural part of rabbit's diet, and their intestines are usually fit for consuming herbs. Vegetables should always be around, such as carrots, lettuce, green turnips, collard greens. However, fruits are should be only considered as snacks. Other foods to avoid are avocados, chocolate, potatoes, meat, and a bunch of amounts of bread. Rabbit exercise is not rabbits are not animals that you can train or you can force to exercise. Train, however, rabbit or exercise can be done by playing games. Playing games can be very beneficial because rabbits are very social creatures, so you can play games around them like tag or you can train them to do basic movements, and then you can use food to like maybe lure them and make them stretch different parts of the body. But exercise should be a very important part of their overall daily routines. But if you now if you ever suspect that your bunny is having any kind of problem, you should always take it to a vet. You should always search for a vet that specializes in rabbits because not all vets are specialized in small animals. They usually specialize in things like cats or dogs. You should always look for signs that's not eating, evidences for poop, runny eyes, noses, watery diarrhea, and/or dark urines. Yeah. It's also like advised to get like your animal spayed or neutered if you want any like unwanted offspring if you have multiple rabbits. Now, now that I talked to you about the housing rabbit and your rabbit, now I'm talking about the overall how to keep your overall happiness in a rabbit. A rabbit seek companionship by nature, so having a rabbit with you all times is very good, and or not having a rabbit with other rabbits can create a bond. When carrying a rabbit by yourself or only one rabbit, human is very important to have a companion because they provide bigger bonds and it can be very interactive. However, they do need a lot of time and commitment to people. And without companionship, these rabbits can become very lonely, so you have to be careful. You can also have house other rabbits because rabbits by nature create bonds and communities. This way, rabbits can have play together, groom each other, and it's very awesome to see these rabbits cuddle each other and sleep. Rabbits should always be groomed. Grooming is very important for rabbits' health and keeping rabbits healthy. One of the things that comes into grooming is fur brushing. Fur brushing should always be done for a rabbit because rabbits' hair is always growing, and it can rabbits' hair can be cause clumps of hair. Now, this is very important because rabbits usually groom themselves, so and then they lick each other with their tongues. This can, if they now they have a bunch of clumps in their hair and they're licking each other, they can have a bunch of clumps of hair inside the system, which can be fatal later on. It's important to groom at least three days, each 3 days. And the last thing is handling rabbits. Handling rabbits is very important because you want to be able to grab a rabbit, hold it, or to cuddle it, or to groom it, right? So I don't have my rabbit right now because she's sleeping, unfortunately. But when you have a rabbit, you have to never want to grab her by the neck, ears, or tail. So you always want to push her slowly, uh, grab her from the underside, and have your hand in their hind side, the back, and or have their and be able to have their legs on your arm, which makes them feel safe. And it's pretty much a good way to grab it and build a companionship with your rabbit. So overall, in conclusion, the Kura is a very simple job. However, it does take effort. And today we discussed the different things such as taking care of rabbits, housing, health, and how to keep you happy. So, if you are considering carrying a rabbit, I hope you learned something from today. And if you already have a rabbit, I hope you learned something about your rabbit. Thank you.